Hi there. Hi there. So I've started thinking about a few new ideas to make a few new artworks. And basically they all have, I don't know, they stem from the same idea, but I have several mediums options and several ways, several techniques to execute them with. But I mean, there are two main ideas, but it sounds simple enough to do, but the more I think about it, the more it becomes a struggle. And it's always like that. What seems simple becomes very complex, but what seems complex is actually quite simple to make. So let me run you through my ideas and possibilities. So the first project I want to make is this sort of like, vectoral shape I've drawn, and I want to cut that into metal. So I want to make like a 2D sculpture that you can mount on a wall. So I basically want to make this out of metal and then laser cut it. So I'm really skilled when it comes to laser cutting, but I just learned that the laser cutter I have access to normally cannot cut on metal. So secondly, I went to I called a FabLab, and they have the right laser cutter, except that I discovered that I have two options when it comes to metal. I have the stainless steel and then have the aluminum. I would prefer to do it in aluminum because it's lighter, and I don't have a car, so I have to be able to transport the metal sheet. But the guy from the FabLab recommends 1mm steel instead of 2mm aluminum. Because the problem is that if you go with aluminum, it's more bendable, it will bend more easily than steel. So I have to go with thicker aluminum if I go for aluminum, and apparently it's harder to cut on the laser cutter. But since I'm struggling to find 1mm steel at an affordable price, I still think that I'm gonna try make a test with the aluminum 2mm. Okay, editing Chiral here. So now it's time to actually make the drawing. So I'm using my tablet to trace the outline of the drawing. Here you see me taping the floor to try to decide on the dimensions of the sculpture. Okay, after pondering for a while, I ended up choosing these dimensions. Now back to the desk. This sculpture looks like it might happen. Right now I just have to adjust the drawing so that it fits the size of the aluminum plate I found, and also add holes for screws so that I can fix it to the wall. Okay, now that I'm ready with the clean tracing and adjusting the drawing to the right dimensions and placing holes in it for the screws, since it's a sculpture that will be mounted on a wall, it's time to hop on a train and head to the FabLab that has the metal laser cutter.
Næste station, København Syd.
Hey guys, the FabLab is open today and the guy who has the knowledge is available, so I rushed into a train, took the wrong one. Now I'm like half an hour late, but I texted him all is good. But first step is going to get the metal, the aluminum plate, and then I'll go to the FabLab. Will be a miracle if it works. If it works well from the first time. Apparently we need some luck, he says, the technical guy. But let's see. Here is the final result. Doesn't it look great? Okay, little debrief of what went on with the metal cut. This is what it looks like. It was so bulky to travel with this in the train and not like kill people with all the pointy corners, but oh my god, it's like metal lace. I really like that. It's gorgeous. So happy. It went super well. Now I'm back home, and if I had not taken like the wrong train in the beginning, this would have been done in like a minute. It was so fast. And yeah, it was like a successful cut from the start, but I cannot operate the machine myself because it costs 500,000 kroner, and then apparently no one else than specialized technicians can use it. But I'm so glad I found one of the only places in Denmark that does this, where I can be, where I can watch the process and everything. So it turned out extra super good. The 1mm aluminum sheet, when I bought it in store, it was like quite rigid, but of course because of the cutout now it's like more flexible, but it doesn't really matter because it will be mounted on a wall. And I would love to do the same with brass, because it's possible to cut brass as well, so it's like this bronzy golden color, but that costs so much more. It's like 10 times the price of aluminum. So maybe it's for if I get a commission one day or whatever. But yeah, super stoked with how this turned out. And now for the rest of the day, it's already 3, so I have to eat a little bit, and then I think because this has been super productive, I'm gonna allow myself a little inspiration tour. I'm gonna go to the Devil Samling collection. It's like Islamic art, because right now I'm looking at Persian carpets and Islamic art, and because I'm trying to look at different ways of representing things on maps. Okay, pause. Editing Carol here again. So to contextualize what I'm talking about here, I mean that some Islamic works are conceived as sorts of maps, in the sense that they contain information translated into symbolic representations. And I'm interested in looking into this topic for another project I'm working on. So that's why I thought it would be a good idea to go to a museum to check out their collection of Islamic art. So off we go. This museum is quite cool because it's very much not a classic white cube exhibition model. It's a big house with a labyrinth structure, and it's full of drawers where they store some of their most fragile paper pieces. So you can freely explore these drawers and you never know what you're going to find, so it's like playing art roulette. They also have screens that enable you to zoom in on some of the intricate artworks. Alright, that's it for this vlog. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned if you want to see the metal sculpture mounted on a wall as intended, and where my inspiration trip to the museum will lead me in my art practice. Okay, bye!